Hello everyone and welcome back to My Opinion. In this video I'll be previewing the World Test Championship final played between Australia and South Africa, and I'll be played at Lords. Let's get into this preview video. Starting off with Australia, the defending champions have selected a squad, and out of that I'll be suggesting my 11 now. It's got a couple of omissions and I'll explain as to why I've gone with this 11. My 11 will be Usman Khawaja and Beau Webster to open the batting, Marnus Labuschagne 3, Steve Smith 4, Travis Head 5, Josh Inglis 6, Alex Carey 7, Pat Cummins 8, Nathan Lyon 9, Josh Hazlewood 10, and Scott Boland 11. First off, I've left out Sam Constas because after debuting in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, they then left him. I think they sent him back from Australia when touring Sri Lanka. And Travis Head opened in place of him. Now, I don't think that will happen now, but in my view, if you're comparing Beau Webster and Sam Constas, Beau Webster also made his debut recently as well. But is Sam Constas a proven option in the opening spot as of now? I don't think so. Beau Webster has got a solid technique, and I've heard he can bat in anywhere in the top 4. And we've seen what he did in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And the reason why I think he'd play in this side anyway, whether they choose to play down the order or not, is because in Sri Lanka he bowled off spinners, but you've seen in Australia he can bowl medium pace to support the main 3-seamers. So because of his technical soundness with a bat, I would play him at the top of the order because at Lords, day 1 and day 5 are the two most difficult days to bat. It's relatively easier or not as difficult in days 2, 3, and 4. So if Australia have to bat first, what the template I feel should be is Usman Khawaja, Beau Webster, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith to see off things on day 1 to make sure not too many wickets are lost. And then when it gets easier on day 2, you've got Travis Head and Josh Inglis to be destructive, and Alex Carey, who scored a brisk rate despite he wouldn't look to bash the ball around like those two do. So this is what I think they should do. I feel that top 4 would create a solid foundation for the rest of the players to come where they can express themselves. Will they go with Beau Webster to open? I don't know, but I think he'll be in 11. But I think he should open. Or you can have Josh Inglis at number 6. He's been in very good form, and I feel they should use that. And now the next omission where many people would think it is a surprise if they saw this 11, and that is Mitchell Starc. I have left him out because I've gone on form. Now, they may think about fitness. I heard Scott Boland had said for the last 18 months he had been experiencing pain when he bowled. Now he is pain-free. And Josh Hazlewood has been in fantastic form, and Pat Cummins in place. So I feel based on form, who would be a threatening combination? I feel those 3 would be more threatening than Starc at this point in time. But if they're looking at fitness, thinking Hazlewood and Boland returning from injuries, I'm not confident that they'll last. When I want 2 bowlers who wouldn't last despite how skillful they'd be, and therefore you could leave one of them out and play Mitchell Starc. I don't know about their fitness situations as of now, that they would take that call. I think they'll play Mitchell Starc regardless, but I think this side would be stronger if they went with Hazlewood and Scott Boland. I feel they are bowling better in this format as of now. And this is what I would go. If you're looking at the options who are on the bench, people have been saying Marnus Labuschagne may not play, and I don't think it would be a correct decision to drop him. You've got Sam Constas as a batting backup. Would you play him or Labuschagne? Sure, you'd play Labuschagne. Now, Cameron Green has been in good form since his return in the county circuit, but he hasn't started bowling as of now, and I think he would have been in this 11 if he was bowling. Would you play him ahead of Labuschagne at 3, despite he's been in good form? I think it would be a gamble. There's a rhetoric that Labuschagne hasn't been in form, but even against India, he scored 3 vital 50s. I feel he would score runs when most required, so I've got him at number 3. I don't think there are other selection conundrums for this side. And now for South Africa, my 11 would be Ryan Rickelton and Aiden Markram to open, David Bedingham 3, Temba Bavuma 4, Tristan Stubbs 5, Carl Verreynne 6, Corbin Bosch 7, Marco Jansen 8, Kagiso Rabada 9, Keshav Maharaj 10, Dame Peterson at number 11. Now, I heard the coach was looking to go with Markram and Rickleton as the opening combination. So I don't know where De Zorzi would come to play in the side. Some people are saying he could play. If he was going to play, since you've got Rickleton to open, you've got to play Verena at number 6 as a keeper. So you could keep with Stubbs potentially. I don't know how that could go if they're looking to go that way. Then play De Zorzi ahead of Vereni. Or I think that's the only slot you could play him ahead of. You could play him ahead of Tristan Stubbs or Carl Verena, but I don't think Tony De Zorzi will play. We'll have to see how they go. And then the other toss-up would be between Corbin Bosch and Rian Moda. Now, at Lords, you've got to build a fuller lengths, and Corbin Bosch at times is guilty of not doing that, but I feel is a more frontline option. And secondly, averages 41 with a bad first-class cricket, meaning Rian Moda at times has played some good innings, but at this point in time against this attack, this Australian attack, are you putting your money on him that he would most likely score in this situation? I don't know. If you play Corbin Bosch, then he adds another frontline bowling option, and he's got an average of 41, but it will be one of those two who play in that slot. And I think they should play Dane Peterson. I think he took a 5 in South Africa in their recent home series. But he's someone who is a controlling seamer. You've got Corbin Bosch, can go for runs. Rabada, he's a very good bowler, will at least go for that 3.14 mark. Marco Jansen can also go for runs, so I need that controlling seamer as a spinners that only come into play more so at the day 5 time. So that's why I've gone with him. Now, what I think they will do is they'll play Lungi Ngidi ahead of him. Now, if they play Rian Moda ahead of Corbin Bosch, you play Lungi Ngidi ahead of Dane Peterson, you're losing 2 frontline bowlers, and I don't think that would go well playing against this Australian side. I wouldn't have selected Lungi Ngidi for this, but they keep selecting him for every format. I don't know why. And I hope they play Dane Peterson. They think Lungi Ngidi has got a greater reputation because he's played longer, but I would not go with that approach. I hope they do not play him in this side. I've not got anything against him, of course. I just want Dane Peterson to do better in this case. I feel he's a good containing seamer so the others can attack. This is the 11 I think they should go with. In the last 11 tests at Lords, 4 of 1 batting first, 7 of 1 batting second, but I don't think that would mean you've got to bowl first in this case. The reason why I'm saying that is because you saw when India won a few years back when defending a score, I said day 1 and day 5 would be the most difficult to bat, and India got, I think, 300 plus on day 1. And on day 5, Bumrah and Mohammad Shami, they stitched together that partnership to get India to 270 odd, and then they won that match. So it would be difficult to bat for the chasing side on day 5. At the same time, there is some purchase on day 1 and day 5, especially the bowlers would enjoy bowling. And where teams batting first have lost is that they haven't got a big enough lead going into their second innings, and that's when the team batting last has chased things down. So when comparing these 11, I'll be factoring that in as well. So in looking at the top 4 batsmen, who's got the edge? For Australia, got Usman Khawaja, Bew Webster, Marnus Labuschagne, and Steve Smith, compared with Ryan Rickleton, Aidan Markram, David Bedingham, and Temba Bavuma. For Australia, Usman Khawaja against Sri Lanka, he played very well against India. He didn't have a great run, but I think he'd be confident after the Sri Lanka tour. Bew Webster, I haven't seen him open much, but I think he's got the technical soundness to succeed. Marnus Labuschagne, people are saying he's not been in form, but I feel he was scoring at least one of the innings, and Steve Smith was very good. For South Africa, Ryan Rickleton has played a substantial innings in Test. I'm not comparing IPL and Test form, of course, but we have seen he's got a tendency to score a 30 or 40 and then be dismissed. I hope he doesn't do that here. Aidan Markram has been in confidence in the IPL recently, and when he was playing for South Africa before the IPL in Test, he did okay. David Bedingham has also been someone who he plays in the county circuit in England, and I feel he's a good player. Again, the consistency could be something, but we've seen even in other formats, he doesn't quite get the big score often enough, but I think he's a very good player, and Bavuma has been in very good form. So looking at the top 4 there, because of the form cloud over Marnus Labuschagne, Bew Webster opening the batting in my 11, I don't think there's as much of a disparity between those two because you've got Steve Smith and Bavuma in form at number 4. So I think they can be relatively equal because there's a cloud over both the top 4s. And now the middle order: Travis Head, Josh Ingles, Alex Carey compared with Tristan Stubbs, Kyle Verreynne, Corbin Bush. This is where I especially think there's a disparity, because you've got Travis Head, who we've seen what he's done in Test cricket. Josh Ingles, I think, is a very good player. Alex Carey also is a very good player. You've got good players there for South Africa. Of course, Corbin Bush would also provide something with the ball. But if you're comparing with a trio that can take the advantage once the top four have set something, I feel Australia, given the names there, have got the edge. And now, who can set the tone with the ball on day one, being the seamers? For Australia, you've got Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood, Scott Boland, and they may play Stark ahead of one of Hazlewood or Boland, depending on fitness. And for South Africa, you've got four seamers in my 11: Corbin Bush, Marco Jansen, Kagiso Rabada, Dane Patterson. Despite the class of the Australian seamers, I'd say South Africa have got four frontline seamers, despite the Australian seamers have been doing very well. I think this is a big chance for South Africa. I've said this for India as well. They didn't do that, where I'd say if you get Miles in the seamer's legs, since they've got the four frontline bowlers and Bew Webster to support, Nathan Lyon wouldn't be as effective until about day 5. So only got the three seamers there to build the advantage for them. Whereas in this case, I've got four frontline bowlers and two of those bowlers can bat. So I feel it's something where pedigree-wise, you think Australia, but I still think South Africa can do something, provided they play Dane Peterson. What I fear they'll do is, if they play Linky and Gideon via Moda, I think the advantage is quite dominantly towards Australia. But if they play Corbin Bush and Dane Peterson, they've got to play Dane Peterson for that controlling aspect, as I've said before. If they do, a lot of people are saying Australia will win, and looking at their 11, it does look like they would be the stronger side going into this. The one thing that would dictate things towards South Africa is that I feel you've got Travis Head, Josh Ingles, Alex Carey. If Tristan Stubbs, Kyle Verreynne, Corbin Bush can, I think emulating that would be difficult. They've got to perform at their best with the bat. If they do, then you can slightly reduce that disparity, despite still, I think in that case, Australia have got the advantage. I feel that middle order, the lower middle order, would be something that Australia would have an advantage in, because South Africa have got the seamers, and I think if you're comparing the top order, the disparity compared to what it could have been before with the same set of play, it isn't as much this time. So let's see how this match goes. For a change, I'm going to say I'll be choosing South Africa to win, even though factually you'd think Australia have got the advantage. But let's see how that goes. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share with friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's your